And if you really want to learn more about the Flutter Riverpod, make sure to check out my course on my website, which is the Flutter WebSocket connection with the Riverpod over here. And in this particular course, we will be learning how to build a real-time app using the WebSocket connection with the Flutter Riverpod. We will be using the Coinbase Socket API, and we will fetch all of the real-time data using the WebSocket and then the Riverpod over here. This is the small app that we are going to build. This is the list of the coins. We are going to list the list of the coin, and this will be refreshed in a periodical order. And as well as once we click on this particular the product or the coin over here, we are going to fetch the data in the real time. So this is going to be like reset in every second. So that's we are going to fetch from the API. And if you go to the something like BTC USD over here, so we are going to fetch on every second. We are going to get a live price update over here, and we can also go and refresh the whole WebSocket connection, handle the error and all of the stuff over here. So make sure to go and check out this particular course. It's really interesting course, and you will learn a lot of the stuff regarding the WebSocket connection with the Flutter Riverpod over here. So that's all, and let's meet up in the next one. Till then, have a great day. Let us continue with our lesson over here, and in this particular lesson, let us try to see how we can make use of the Flutter Riverpod over here to initialize our dependency before we run our main app over here. So let's say you want to initialize your database connection, or you want to initialize something like the crash collection, performance, and all of those information, right? And before you enter to the main app, you want to go and initialize all of those information. So what we can do is Riverpod on the Flutter Riverpod makes it much more easier to handle all of those information. Otherwise, what you have to do is basically you have to go here and init the DB, right? And let's say you want to init the Hive database or the crash collection. Create user. Let's say CRASS crash collection and all of this information. So you have to actually go and initialize in the main method over here, or the main function itself. But with the help of the Riverpod or the provider, what we can do is we can go and actually initialize that, and we can actually go and show the loading state, error state, and the success state as well. We have already learned how we can have the error, success, and then the loading state. So once you are initializing your dependency, we can show the loading state, and if there is an error, we can actually go and reinstantiate all of those information, right? And what so on. So let's just go and see how we can do all of those using the Flutter Riverpod over here. So let's go to the provider, and I'll create the new provider. Let's say StartUp, and that will be of the provider.the file. And let's create this one using the, I want to pass in some argument or the parameter over here. So for that, what I will do is I'll create the future and also the family provider. So first thing, I will go and import the Riverpod annotation over here, and let's go over here, add the Riverpod over here. And what I need to do is the keep alive, right? So it should be, I guess, the keep not the alive, that will be of the true over here. I guess that should be the one. And here we will have the future, that is going to return us the, it's not going to return anything, so I'll just go and say the void, and I'll just go and say this is of the startup over here. And also I'll provide the second argument, that will be of the required, and let's just go and say this is of the not the name. Maybe you want to pass in the flavor, so let's say the flavor, production flavor, and all of those information. So let's just go and pass in the FLA VOUR flavor over here, or FLA, I guess that should be fine. And now we need to generate this particular code, so let's just go and say this is of the part, not the print part file over here. that will be of the startup provider g.d.file. And since this is asynchronous, let's just go and initialize it something like the do a fake loading state of the 3 second over here, and I will import the debug from the foundation. Let's just go and print out this one, and here you can actually now go and init the db over here, right? And also you can initialize the height, crash collection, and all of those information. So once you have initialized all of those, let's just go and say that we are done with this. So let's say print out, and let's say the startup is done over here. So let's say done over here. Just a demo code over here. It's not the actual real code over here, but you can actually go and initialize all of over here. And once we have this, we need to go and actually go and run the build runner to build this particular file. Let's go and build this particular provider over here. That's going to generate us the code over here, and once that is generating, I guess we can go and create the new file over here, and that will be of the screen. So let's see start underscore of the scren screen.d.file, and here you can see the provider is generated for you already. That should be good enough. It's a family provider, and the provider will be of the startup provider, and that's good. So now we have the provider already. So let's go back to our startup screen over here. Let's go and create the consumer consumer, and let's make use of the stateless, or maybe you want to make use of stateful, but I guess for now we will make use of stateless. We don't have any requirement of the state over here. And now let's just go and import the Flutter Riverpod, and also we'll import the material Flutter material package over here. And here what we need to do is final, that will be of, let's see, async value over here, and we need to ref dot the watch our provider. So that will be of the startup provider that we have created just now, and here we need to pass in the flavor. So the flavor, I'll just go and pass in, let's see, a dev flavor or something like a development. Sorry, let's see a dev for now. And once we have this async value, you should be familiar with the asynchronous async value already. It provides us the loading error and then the success state. So you'll just go and say the when, and we'll have the data and error and then the loading state. And for this one, I'll just go and load it with the wrap it with the widget, and this will be material widget itself. And let's just go and wrap this one as well with the material widget. So let me close it over here first of all, and let's go over here and let's wrap this one with the another widget that will be of the material itself. And let's remove the cons from here, and I guess we can put it over here. So that should be good enough. So now we have this particular success, error, and then the loading. And in the success, what we need to do is we need to actually go and once this was successful, like let's say the provider has successfully run, and we need to load back our this particular main screen or the main app. And once the provider or dependency is getting initialized, so which is of this one, so once it is initializing all of this, we want to show the loading state. That is what we have, and if there is an error, we will show an error over here. And now in success, let's just go and we need to pass in some over here final, and we will pass in the string of the flavor as well, and also we'll pass in the final, that will be of the widget, I guess the widget builder, widget builder over here. Let's pass in that one, and over here we'll just pass in the required, this is the flavor and also the builder that we need to pass in. And from here we'll just go and return our builder that we have and pass in the context over here. And I guess we don't have to pass in the Okay, so let's just go and pass in the widget and then the ref widget builder. So we need to pass in actually the context, and this is not the build. Okay, so this is not the build, so we actually require the builder. Sorry for that, that's why I got confused why I have to pass in the ref over here. Okay, so that should be fine. Now we are returning a builder or widget builder itself with our current context. So now our the startup screen is ready to go over here, and now we need to go to our main app over here, and we need to replace this the main method run app over here. And let's once in the provider scope, what we need to do is we need to wrap this with the builder, and this builder will be of the startup screen that we currently sta startup screen that we just built. And here we need to pass in the first is the flavor. So let's say a flavor, I just want to pass in the div, and from here it's going to, okay, let's just go to our screen over here, and it's screen, this is the flavor we are manually passing in over here, but let's just go and pass in the flavor that we have provided from here. And once we have the provided that, we need to go back to our main app again over here, and here with the builder what we need to do is builder, and in the builder we need to provide our context, and that is going to return us our main. I guess we have some errors, so let's just go and remove the cons from here. That should be good enough, and here we need to provide the cons itself, so that should be good enough. And now let's just go and try to run the application over here, and let's go and okay, so it's quite big over here. You can see it's actually loading over here, right? So that's cool. So if you go back to our output, the debug console, you should see that we have provided the dev flavor, and also the startup was done. Only thing that we need to do now is we need to fix this one and wrap it with, let's say I want to wrap with the center. Let's try to reload, and now we will see that it's loading over here. After 3 seconds, that's going to move it to our main app over here, and by that time all of our dependency should be initialized correctly, like your database, crash collection, and any other stuff that you want to initialize will be ready for you to use over here. And even if there is an error, you should actually go and initialize that one over here. And basically here what you can do is ref dot the dispose over here on dispose, right? So on dispose we have the callback, and in this particular dispose, if there is something error, you can actually go and call the ref dot the invalidate, right? So you can actually go and invalidate itself, or you can go and invalidate some provider, let's say the user list provider or something. So you want to actually go and re-instantiate your database connection or the crash collection and allow if there is some error, right? So you can actually go and try to recreate or reinitialize that particular provider and all of this information. And that will be quite useful, because if there's an error starting up that particular or initializing that particular dependency, you can actually try to go and rerun that particular the dependency. So if you go back from here, what I can do is from here I'm returning actually the child is of the text. Let's just go and wrap this one with the center, and in the center I can just go and wrap with the, let's say, a column over here. And in the column, not the column over here, it should be inside this. So this particular text I want to wrap with the column over here, and in the column I can also have the let's say a size box over here, not the size box, let's say the size box over here, and height of the edge, let's just make this one as the const over here. And now after this I can just go and have the something like the elevated button over here, or let's just go and say the elevated button, and on pressed what I can do is in this particular I can just go and call the ref dot the invalidate our provider, so that will be of this particular provider. So I want to go and invalidate that one as well once there is an error, so I can just call the retrieve from here. So that's cool, right? So now once there is an error, so we can actually now go and invalidate our startup provider, and that's going to rerun everything for us, right? And here you should go and actually set up how you want to invalidate that particular dependency, like your database connection or your any other dependency that you have. So I guess that's all for this particular lesson, and hope you understand how you can make use of the Riverpod. So you can just try to go and throw some error from here and try to see how it works and how you can initialize or how you can make use of the retrieve button over here. So that will be your homework, and we will meet up in the next one. Till then, have a great day.